There's little worse than the sickening feeling you get when you realize your child or family is falling apart. Perhaps you realize you're on a completely different parenting page than your spouse, or discover your child's superpower is weaseling their way out of all your discipline attempts. When this happens, you may feel out of control, angry, frustrated, or totally exhausted. And this is when we can really spiral. Some of us may worry our marriage won't last. Maybe the D word has been dropped. Or worry we're damaging our kids for good, destroying our connection, and maybe recreating the ugliest parts of our own childhood. Sometimes our parenting fears will kick into high gear, like when you envision your future child on the streets as a drug addict, where they hate you forever and refuse you access to your future grandkids. If you can relate, then stick around, because in this short video, I'll share how hundreds of dedicated parents and myself have turned our family stress into a family that feels truly blessed. By the way, if you like what you hear, the best compliment you can give me is to hit the like button and subscribe. So why on earth was I hired to speak to over 1 million parents when I had totally struggled in the parenting trenches with two strong-willed children whose superpowers were finding all my child discipline loopholes? If you've got 5 minutes, I'd love to share. Likely of no surprise to you, I've learned in my 24 years of supporting thousands of parents as a strong-willed child specialist that parenting isn't for wimps. When there's more yelling than hugging, more fights than forgiving, moms and dads can feel like they're in a leaky parenting boat where the whole family's going down. Fortunately, I've witnessed both personally and professionally how hitting rock bottom can be one of the most powerful times to make a positive parenting change, but only if it's the right change and with the right support. If we haven't yet met, hi there, I'm Kelly Nault, and the first time I realized it was my calling to be a joyfully parenting family counselor was during my early 20s, when most parents love to hate me, and with good reason too. You see, before I was a parent, I was that really annoying non-parent who thought I knew everything about raising a respectful child. Ever encounter one of these? Basically, I was the it girl for difficult and stubborn children, those who had special needs, and others many had given up on. I got good at it. That is, until I worked with two brothers who had beaten up their last caregiver on the bus. Young and confident, I seriously thought my new caregiver gig, kind of like being a live-in super nanny, would be a piece of cake. But the night a dessert plate went zinging past my head, I realized I was in way over my head. My dad told me to quit, but I was stubborn and stayed, get this, for over 7 years. And when these two strong-willed brothers weren't bouncing off the walls, they were literally pounding on them. Oh, and they were blind from birth. They would have given Helen Keller a run for her money. Frankly, there were days I thought they'd end up in a juvie and I in some psych ward. At the time, it was exceptionally hard for me to ask for help, so we struggled for a while. Sound familiar? But then I started my master's in counseling psychology, and I got what most parents never get: amazing hand-holding from two world-renowned parenting experts who collectively sold over 8.5 million books. One was Dr. Jane Nelson, who wrote Positive Discipline, and the other was Dr. Gary McKay, co-author of Systematic Training for Effective Parenting. Basically, I had him on speed dial, and it made all the difference. While hanging out at the playground, other parents in our community noticed our positive shift. A few miraculously requested playdates. Some even asked for parenting advice from me. The amazing thing is that it worked, and they returned wanting more. That's when I knew it was my calling to provide a peaceful parenting path for families wishing to tame tension, tantrums, and fights so they can finally enjoy a home sweet home. Surprisingly, becoming a parenting educator, well, it took on a life of its own. I taught parenting courses, wrote an award-winning book, When You're About to Go Off the Deep End, Don't Take Your Kids With You, completed my pre-doctoral internship at the university, and was asked to give parenting advice on radio, television, and even in magazines like Today's Parent. Why, I was even paid as a parenting spokesperson to go across the nation in a week-long tour and speak to, you guessed it, over 1 million parents. Well, it's been an amazing journey. Not all of it's been smooth. Like when that dessert plate went past my head, I couldn't have more children, when my marriage was falling apart, and when I struggled with chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. The cool thing is that being in the parenting trenches and coaching others through their most difficult and painful family issues, I've created and tested the Peaceful Parenting Path, a fully customizable family calming reboot system. And it just hasn't worked with my own family, but has worked with hundreds of families, especially those with spirited children. You know, the ones that are difficult to parent even on a good day. It's been an honor to witness these family transformations. I love hearing from clients such as Natasha, who said, "Kelly was right. The biggest benefit is an increased sense of peace in our household. The extremes have diminished on everyone's part. The sense of calm we feel in our family has improved our lives pretty substantially. It makes a big difference to go into every day feeling it's a good day." I don't know exactly why you're listening right now. Maybe you're not having a lot of good parenting days. Maybe you know something's got to change and fast, like losing it so often, the exhausting drama, the aggravating meltdowns, the fights. So connect with me. I offer a special introductory Parenting Power Hour session where I help you get to the real root of your problem so you can get clear on your next best step, a step that's often overlooked by most child experts. I also offer a free online parenting course called Tame Your Child's Tantrums, and I'd love to have you join me. Here's what I know for sure. If you're struggling with your child or unable to consistently keep your cool and feel like a really bad parent, even if you feel like you've tried everything, there's hope. My hundreds of clients and myself are living proof there is. I also believe that tantrums and meltdowns are a smart mom's greatest gift, but only if you take positive action. I'd love to show you how. So reach out to work with me or sign up for my free parenting course, because isn't it time you confidently parented in a way that brings out everyone's best, including yours? Isn't it time to ensure you're not unintentionally raising an angry child, chronically stubborn child, or a spoiled one? I believe each of us has a moral obligation to bring our parenting A game to our families so we can thrive and not just merely survive. And I'd be honored to be part of your next family's chapter, your turnaround chapter that takes you from a family that's stressed to one that feels truly blessed.